looking at the feasibility of 4IR, especially the drone technology, to assist in terms of water quality monitoring and other catchment parameters. I believe that the partnership is really important to Umgeni Water and also to our collaboration partners, because with the partnership, it's a partnership between us as a public sector and the research institutions. Research institutions are very important in this case because they've got access to research information as well as technology and as well as capacity to operate the technology such as the 4IR technology that is used for catchment parameter monitoring. So with us as Umgeni Water, we are taking that opportunity, and we're taking advantage of the fact that we've got partnerships with research institutions. We've got the tools that are required, so it enhances the partnership and the collaboration between the parties, where we are able to request the services and they are able to use their expertise to meet some of the needs that we've got, especially around catchment parameter monitoring. This project is really important to Umgeni Water because Umgeni Water is a water utility. We are a water service provider, and that means that catchment parameter monitoring then becomes really important because we cannot manage what we cannot monitor. So we need to be able to have access to data in terms of water quality and other catchment parameters such as quantity and invasive alien plants infestation in the rivers. So the project is really important because there are tools available for sampling and for monitoring, but we need more innovative tools to be able to access even more areas that are currently remote and we cannot access through the current in-situ monitoring. With drone technology and other innovations that are related, we want to see if we can be able to reach remote areas and even be able to cover even the greater spatial extent in terms of water quality monitoring or other catchment parameters.
We are investigating the use of unmanned aerial vehicles in monitoring small rivers, small braided rivers, and other issues that relate to water quality in the catchment. So the major benefits of using a UAV to monitor your water quality: firstly, it really is a question of accessibility. If you are wanting to monitor a river using grab samples, you would have to have multiple points of access where you can get down to the river and to be able to take samples. The UAV allows you to literally launch from a single point, to fly a reach of the river and return your drone without having to access the river at all. That's a really major advantage, particularly in areas where rivers are in deep valleys, heavily vegetated areas, deeply incised rivers where actually getting down to the water is a problem. So that then provides also an answer to many safety concerns. How close do people have to get to the water? Are they likely to get washed away? Are they likely to drown and have other issues like that? So drones really aid in the accessibility side of things. Also from the perspective of cost, whilst drones are expensive in the short term in terms of your initial outlay to purchase your UAV and your software to process imagery, the long-term cost of analyzing samples on an ongoing basis again and again is ultimately taken away. So one can monitor a river repeatedly using the same equipment and not having that ongoing outlay. So those are, I think, two of the biggest advantages of using a drone. Obviously it's all in experimental stage. There's a lot of work being done around the world in this, and many people trying to crack the nut, so to speak. But I think the progress is certainly there, and particularly for determinants like suspended solids and chlorophyll, there have been some very encouraging results. So I think it's a great opportunity to go forward with that. Internationally, a huge amount of work has gone into the use of remote sensing for monitoring water around the world, and Most of that work is focused on the use of satellite-based remote sensing. That's wonderful. There's a lot of freely available imagery out there. There's a lot of incredibly detailed imagery. But largely speaking, for our context in South Africa, the only real water bodies that you can monitor using satellite imagery, because of the resolution and the cost of higher resolution imagery, are large water bodies like dams. When it comes to our rivers, like the Duzi behind me, how do we monitor that with remote sensing? It's a challenge that we're grappling with. We are wanting to try to use UAVs to be able to generate high resolution imagery at a reasonable cost. Our rivers, as you can see, are not all nice flat bodies of water. They are braided. They often have many channels. They often have rapids, they have pools, they have glides, they have riffles. So they are very multi-dimensional, and using a drone is a far more effective way to be able to isolate suitable areas of water to be able to get realistic readings from that water, as opposed to using a satellite image where it would be very difficult to isolate those specific parcels of water. Another big challenge that we face is obviously the weather conditions. If you're wanting to fly a drone, you are wanting ideal conditions, so that can limit you in terms of your time that you can spend, and the time of year, the time of day, and it also limits which days you can go on. So weather is a big role player. One of the last disadvantages of using a drone for water quality monitoring is that there are only a limited number of parameters that you can actively detect using spectral reflectors. We particularly are focusing on turbidity or suspended solids, so how muddy or how dirty is the water. We're looking at nutrients and trying to detect that through the growth of algae in the water and chlorophyll, the chlorophyll in the algae in the water. So those are the two that we're really focusing on. We're also trying to look at other broader catchment issues like leaking sewers and leaking water pipes. So can we detect those, and can we identify areas where water quality is being impacted and where water quantity is being impacted as well? So where are people abstracting, where are people discharging, where are changes in the river happening? Those are the key questions that we're trying to answer.